Bitcoin will disappear when quantum computers arrive. Have you ever imagined waking up one day and discovering that your entire Bitcoin wallet is gone? No hacking alert, no suspicious login, no trace of theft, just emptiness. This isn't a science fiction story. It's a very real possibility, one that could become reality when quantum computers fully arrive. Today, I want to take you on a journey into a looming technological revolution that might erase everything we know about digital currencies, because the rise of quantum computing could spell the end of Bitcoin as we know it. Let's begin with a simple truth. Bitcoin is built on trust. Not trust in governments or banks, but trust in mathematics. Specifically, in the security of cryptographic algorithms that protect every transaction, every wallet, and every private key. These mathematical locks are so complex that, with today and APO's best computers, breaking them would take billions of years. That's what makes Bitcoin safe. But what if I told you that a new type of computer is coming? One that doesn't follow the same rules. A computer so powerful, it can break those unbreakable locks in minutes, maybe even seconds. That computer is called a quantum computer. To understand why this matters, you need to know how Bitcoin's security works. When you send Bitcoin, you're using a private key to sign your transaction. This key proves that you are the rightful owner. Your public key is shared with the network, but your private key remains hidden. And because of the mathematics involved, specifically something called the elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, or ECDSA, no one can figure out your private key from your public one. At least, not with today's technology. Traditional computers work in binary. They use bits that are either a 0 or a 1, but quantum computers use qubits, which can be both 0 and 1 at the same time, thanks to a property called superposition. This means they can perform many calculations simultaneously. Combine that with another quantum property called entanglement, and the result is a machine that processes information in a completely different and vastly more powerful way. Now, here's the problem. There's an algorithm called Schur's algorithm, invented in 1994, long before quantum computers even existed in practical form. This algorithm can factor large numbers exponentially faster than any classical computer. And factoring large numbers is exactly how you break Bitcoin's cryptographic security. If a quantum computer can run Schur's algorithm with enough qubits and low enough error rates, it could calculate your private key from your public key in minutes. And with that key, a hacker or a government, or anyone could take full control of your wallet, your funds, and your digital identity. Think about that for a moment. You might say, but my public key isn't exposed, right? That's true until you make a transaction. When you send Bitcoin, your public key becomes visible, and that's when a quantum attack could strike. Now, you might be wondering, aren't quantum computers still experimental? Aren't we decades away from this? Yes and no. It's true that today's quantum computers are still limited. They're noisy, they make errors, and they don't have enough stable qubits to break Bitcoin yet. But quantum computing is advancing fast. Companies like Google, IBM, and startups like Rigetti are racing to build more powerful machines. Governments are pouring billions into quantum research. China, the US, and the EU are locked in a technological arms race for quantum dominance. And here's the scary part: quantum computers don't need to break Bitcoin today to be dangerous. If someone records the blockchain, every transaction ever made, they can sit on that data and wait. One day, when quantum computers are ready, they can go back, run the algorithm, and steal from any wallet that exposed its public key. This is known as a store now, decrypt later attack. It's real, it's happening with sensitive government data, and it could happen with Bitcoin. So, if quantum computers are coming, and they can break Bitcoin, is Bitcoin doomed? Not necessarily, but the clock is ticking. To protect against this threat, developers are working on something called post-quantum cryptography, new mathematical systems designed to resist quantum attacks. These algorithms are meant to replace existing cryptographic methods and keep data secure in a quantum world. There are even discussions about upgrading Bitcoin's protocol to use quantum-resistant algorithms, like lattice-based cryptography or hash-based signatures. But this is not an easy task. Bitcoin is decentralized. It doesn't have a CEO who can make a quick decision. Any change to the protocol requires consensus, a massive, coordinated effort by the global network. And even if we agree on a new algorithm, there's the issue of old addresses wallets that are inactive, holding Bitcoin but not updating their software. These wallets could become sitting ducks in a post-quantum world. Billions of dollars in lost Bitcoin could suddenly be vulnerable. Now let's take a moment to zoom out. Why is this such a big deal? Because Bitcoin is more than just a currency. It represents a new philosophy, decentralized finance, freedom from central banks, digital ownership. If Bitcoin falls to quantum attacks, that dream could collapse. It's not just Bitcoin at risk either. Every cryptocurrency that uses similar cryptographic algorithms is exposed. Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, they're all vulnerable. The entire crypto ecosystem could face a quantum extinction event. And it poses not only crypto. The same encryption protects our emails, bank accounts, health records, and military secrets. Quantum computing could be the biggest technological upheaval in the history of cybersecurity. So, where does that leave us? First, awareness is key. If you hold Bitcoin, you need to know the risks. You need to watch the developments in quantum computing and stay informed. Second, support and demand innovation. The crypto community must push for post-quantum upgrades. Developers, miners, and users all have a role to play in making the network future-proof. Third, be strategic. If you pose remanaging large crypto assets, consider using addresses that Haven and Apos exposed their public keys. Avoid reusing addresses. Diversify your assets. And when quantum-resistant wallets become available, be among the first to move. Lastly, remember this: the arrival of quantum computing is not the end, it's a challenge. And challenges create progress. If the community acts now, Bitcoin can survive. It can evolve. Just like the internet adapted to threats, just like software gets patches, Bitcoin can be upgraded. But the time to act is now, not after the first attack. Bitcoin is a fortress built on math. Quantum computers are siege engines built to tear it down. But even the strongest fortress can stand if it adapts before the walls fall. The question is, will we be ready? Because the day quantum computers arrive, Bitcoin may never be the same again.